Hello. Hi guys, welcome back to my podcast. The microphone is working. That's always good news. I am Dawn. I am a doctor and I am your podcast host for the podcast Backseat Positivity. In this podcast, we discuss positive things, but like lifestyle stuff, like health, well-being, relationships, sleep, happiness. And today we are doing the aptly named, because it's Backseat Positivity. We're doing the aptly named episode called How to Think More Positively. Now, I think I am extremely qualified to talk about this. Especially, sorry, I just needed to turn up the microphone volume. Especially over recent weeks now. For those of you who know me or have been following my journey, it's been a turbulent one over the past few months, but the bumps have been ridden and they are evening out, right? That air current is settling down. It's a very turbulent time when you decide to upheave your whole career and go, no, I'm going to do something else instead. But it doesn't mean it's not a good thing for you, okay? Just because it's difficult doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it's hard, right? So, shall I tell you my story quickly? Because some of you might not know. Basically, I'm a doctor. Did I say that? I think I might have done. I'm a doctor and I have recently taken the decision to step mildly away from medicine. Not completely. I don't want to lose my, take my hat out of the ring. And also it is kind of one of my main sources of income. But, although not currently because I'm not actually doing any medical work, but it usually is. So, I don't want to lose that, but also, I worked hard for this career and I do enjoy parts of it. Now, where am I going with my journey? I'm really sorry, by the way, I'm wearing my dressing gown because it's very cold and I just want to wear it, okay? Last episode I was in bed, today we're down dressing or dressing gown, whatever you want to say. So I am moving into the performing arts sector. So I was going to say sector, and then midway through the word I changed my mind. So I don't know what I was going to say, section. But I've moved paths. Now I always wanted to do performing arts stuff. It's kind of why I started my YouTube channel, amongst other things, and my podcast. I do like performing, but I've always told myself, no, you're not good enough. You're on this career path now. This is what you're doing. Don't be stupid. You're not going to be an actor. You're going to be a doctor like you have set out to do since you were 14. And it's very hard to derail that journey. There's a point to this story, okay? Hear me out. It's hard to derail that journey, that train, once you're on it, because you've committed a lot of things to it. But I think the derailment of I don't want to say it negatively, but it is a kind of derailment, a changing direction. Let's not call it a derailment because that kind of sounds catastrophic, doesn't it? It's those things where the train tracks change track, and I'm pulling that, basically. I've pulled it a few months ago. Does that mean I'm stopping being a doctor? No. Does that mean I'm happier? Yes. Now, does that mean I'm always going to be happier? No. Life is up and down, but there are definitely ways to think more positively, and I think I've bloody cracked them over the past few months, because you might have noticed over my content, I would say in particular, something that I've noticed, having sometimes I've edited or rewatched my videos from a while ago, I've re-edited them or whatever, and been like, oh my god, I was really negative. And that was just a reflection of my state of mind from being in the tragedy that is the NHS. But also not just the tragedy of the NHS. I think is my mind and my personality suited to being in medicine? I don't know. it's hard because you think, well, I've been doing it for a long time. Like, surely I can do it, but it makes me miserable. So, for me, number one, leaving the job that made me so miserable and negative, saying that also, I found a lot of people in medicine and just the nature of the job, you're dealing with sick people who are crying, people who are in pain, people who are sad, people who are dying. All of that makes you more negative, I think, and also the NHS being shit, also other people around you just feeling really demoralised, and consultants always saying, oh, back in the day, it used to be like this, and it's like, well, that's not how it is right now. So, I got a lot of that like negative energy and had it on myself. Now, that is something I'm trying to work on. How to, in a weird way, how to be less empathetic, right? I'm trying to care less about, not care less, I don't want to like not care about people. I think it's a good quality that I care about people, but I don't just care, I absorb their emotions. And I am trying to figure out how to stop doing that because I think it brings me down. Now, if you're one of those people, did I say? Okay, no, let's carry on with that sentence. If you're one of those people, because I'll lose my train of thought otherwise. If you're one of those people, it's very important, therefore, to surround yourself with positive people or people who don't bring you down, at least, like maybe not like really explosively excited people. Like, you don't need to go and find loads of like yes people like running about like going crazy. Just people who aren't bringing you down and saying negative things all the time, and you're just absorbing it, and that doesn't make you an impressionable person. That just means you're a human. And it's a skill, I think, to learn to control your empathy. It's a skill that I have not yet honed, but we're working on it. So, number one is remove yourself from situations that make you unhappy. If your job makes you unhappy, if your housing situation makes you unhappy, if where you live makes you unhappy, do something about it. Like, that is step one to being more positive. Putting yourself in a situation that leads to positive thoughts. If you're like, yes, there are certain, you're not going to be able to go and live in the Bahamas. Well, you might, but for me, I'm not just going to go, right, I'm going to go live in the Bahamas and have a servant who feeds me grapes. Like, I don't know, that would make me happy. But I'm just saying, if you don't need to like significantly upgrade your life. It's not about upgrading. It's about changing your circumstances in a way that is possible to something that is gives you happiness. So for me, it was moving to Bristol. I just moved to Bristol. I knew that I didn't want to be in Exeter. It was making me miserable. The house that I lived in, I didn't like. Exeter just has no opportunities for me. There was nobody there for me that I want. Like, I know people in Exeter that I still, see and get on with. It's not like I don't like any of the people in Exeter. It's just that I wanted bigger and better things. I wanted more of a social scene, more going on, more of a theatre performance scene, dance scene, like music scene, art scene. Like, I wanted so much more going on, and Exeter just didn't give that to me. So I've left my miserable job. I've moved to a city that I love. That's not an exaggeration. I do love it here. I may not live in like the best, snazziest place of Bristol, like for sure I don't, but I am in a location that I'm happy with, but I'm in the vicinity to everything that I want. I can walk to a shop, I can walk to a cafe, I can't walk to the gym, my gym, but I can drive there. I can go exercise with Izzy, I can go see her for brunch, I can go to improv. Do you know what I mean? Oh, it's just like, It's those stupidly simple things that make you happy. Just like, what is it that you truly want in life? At that moment, mine was like, I just want, it sounds so ridiculous. I just want to be able to walk to a shop or a cafe. I want to be able to walk to a cafe, buy a coffee. I want to be able to walk to a cafe with my dog and have brunch. I just didn't get that in Exeter. Like, the closest place was a bloody petrol station. And then there were some cafes in Heathertree, which is like the bit between Exeter and where I lived. But it was just like, meh. Like, I wasn't bothered about any of them. So, okay, let me try and think of some other examples that might make you happy. Or, maybe just come up, okay, so there's a museum that you've always wanted to go to. Like, go to it. That's kind of more of a single thing though, isn't it? There's a friend that you've been wanting to reconnect with and you live in the same city, so go and see that person. You've always wanted to try that couples yoga. This is something I've always wanted to do. It's called acro yoga, I think. You've always wanted to go and do acro yoga. Oh my god, acro yoga. And there's a place down the road that does it. So go and do a weekly session. Like, it's literally as simple as that. Like, you've always wanted to learn German. Go and learn German. Do something that you've always wanted to do. Make that dream a fulfillment. Okay. I guess the next thing is surround yourself with positive people. And that, I do feel like that helped me moving from Exeter, because there was not like there was negative people there, but it was, I didn't really know. There's a few friends from there, yes, I do still see and I get on with, but there was no there wasn't like a good friendship group, And I've definitely noticed moving to Bristol, and I've started at the Improv Theatre. Like, I've got friends there now that I could message and just be like, do you want to go for a drink? Like, I wouldn't think twice about it. I'm not like, ooh, like, is it awkward? No. We spent 6 weeks, well, longer now because we've known each other longer. 6 weeks, like 2.5 hours every week, getting to know each other really well, and it's a really like vulnerable situation, so you bond a lot. A lot of people are freaked out by improv, but trust me, there are people there that are just as scared as you. Like, it's like that spider thing, like, it's more scared of you than you are of it. Improv is your spider. Just go and hang out with it. Or just do something, just like, I know everyone's like, oh, go and do like a social thing, but go and do a social thing that surrounds you with positive people, mainly people that want to be there. I think that's the key. I think the thing is, at work, a lot of people don't want to be there, so you're surrounded by people who are being negative because they're like, I don't want to be here. Maybe that's just the NHS though. So obviously you can't rid yourself of all negative people in your life. Like, it's impossible. Like, you're going to have to deal with negative people at some point, but sometimes I just notice their negativity and I just like see it in a different light. Or sometimes if it's like really bad, I'm like, are you okay? Like, in a nice way, not like, are you okay? Like, are you okay? Like, your mind is very negative, like everything you're saying. And sometimes people just don't notice it. It's a habit. You just get into this habit of being like, oh, this is really shit and the weather's crap and it's raining and oh my god, I'm really cold and oh, I've got to go to do this today and I really don't want to, and oh my god, everything's really shit and I'm tired and I hate my job. Like, what is the point of your life if you're miserable about everything? Just like, if you're in a miserable situation, change it. You're the only one that can. You think your job is going to change for you? No, it's not. That's one thing I realised. My job is not going to get happier because I stick it out for longer. Like, it's going to stay the same, and maybe slowly get better or slowly get worse or stay the same. But it's not a quick thing. If you want to get yourself out of negativity, you are the only one that can do that. That's what I found. And I'm very stubborn. It took me a lot to be like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. And it's very brave. Like, wow, I'm saying that about myself. But it is very brave to be like, I can't do this anymore. And a lot of people don't do it. And I get why. And that's not like shitting on them or anything. That's just being like, I totally get that. Money is an issue. But there are ways to do it. Set up your money beforehand to have that like crossover period, and you need to just have a plan. The issue is I just left, but I had loads of money saved up, so I was able just to leave. If you don't, you need to make that transition a bit more slowly. So don't get to the point where you're like, oh, I hate my life, I hate my job. Like, think about it in advance. Or, if you do have to go on sick leave, then, but I didn't have that option. But then that's always an option too. Oof. Okay. I think ultimately, positive people are going to hang out with positive people, right? If you're a super negative person, a positive person is going to really struggle to be around that kind of person, I think. Like, I am much more positive now, and I'm thinking like, oh, it's quite difficult to like listen to somebody moaning all the time. So if you become more positive, you're naturally going to find or seek out more positive people. And just we're carrying on with the tips. Trying to think when I do my weird thoughts. If you're new to the podcast, I do a segment. It's very short. Don't worry. It's very painless. It's a very short segment, and it's called Weird Thoughts. I need to record like a little jingle or something, but also I can't be bothered to like edit it. So I edit every day. Look, I'm not lazy, but I edit a vlog every day and the podcast twice a week. So and all my shorts, which are, anyway, you don't need to hear about all my editing problems. What I'm saying is I'm not lazy because I don't want to edit a jingle in. I just don't need to add more editing into my life. I've already got loads. I edit for like 2 or 3 hours at least every day. So I know it's simple, but it all adds up. But okay, let's do it again. You know the Rihanna song Wild Thoughts? Well, I've adapted it. Hopefully I don't get like sued or something in the future. Famous last words. When I'm with you, all I get is weird thoughts. Weird thoughts. Weird thoughts. When I'm with you, all I get is weird thoughts. Okay, because when I'm with me, all I get is weird thoughts. Now I have these, those like shower thoughts where you're like, bam, like where did that come from? This one didn't come in the shower. This one came when I was actually typing this episode out. And I don't know how weird it is, but I think it's weird. So it makes the cut. The weird thought of today is, why do people watch the news? I think it's weird. I do. I watch people watch the news. I don't watch the news. And everyone's like, oh my God, you don't watch the news? How do you know what's happening? Well, I hear from other people. And that's all I need. I don't need to know about all the drama in the world because we are not programmed to absorb. And like I said, I absorb problems. Like, I don't need to know it. And yes, it's kind of burying your head in the sand. Like, I do get it. But it's not like I'm like, la, 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 like sticking my fingers in my ears as soon as someone starts talking about the news. Like, I'll listen, but I don't actively go seek it out and watch the news. Like, I know how it makes me feel, and it's not good. And I'm like, why would I surround myself with shitness that I don't need? So I watch people watch the news, and I'm like, they're like, oh God, that's so bad, isn't it? And I'm like, you are literally absorbing negativity right now. Does it not bother you? I think some people like the negativity. It's not for me. I get it. I get why you like it. I think I've had it in the past where you're kind of like, yes, negative stuff, catastrophe, like, and we're very curious. Humans are very curious, but I don't think it's good for our mental health. Think about when we were thousands of years ago, we didn't listen to the whole world's problems. The lions, bears are going extinct, there's a war going on, someone's dying of this new disease, and there's going to be a pandemic. Like, that is a lot of problem to take on. Like, ooh, we just don't need it, surely? Surely not. So I find it weird that people watch the news or listen to the news. And there are some stories that I do get a bit into. Like, I get a bit invested in. Like the Nicola Bulley one, I think her name was. The lady, it was recent, who was found in the river. But she was missing for a while. And yeah, I was into that one. But I just still don't know. And Madeleine McCann. I'll always watch stuff on Madeleine McCann. I'm always interested about missing people. Like I think I don't know if I'm nosy or like inquisitive, maybe is a nicer way to put it. I like to know. I like to try and figure it out. So I watch a lot of like true crime stuff as well. So it's maybe a little bit weirdly sadistic, but I don't like enjoy it. But I like the thought process behind it. I like the challenge. I think that's what it is. I'm not like death. I love death. No, I'm like, I want to know what happened or try and figure it out at least. Okay, that's my weird thoughts. Weird thoughts. When I'm with you, all I get is weird thoughts. Okay, it would be cool to have a jingle. It would be cool to have a jingle for the actual podcast itself. I have thoughts about the jingle. What would it be? I think it would be like, excuse me, hi, I'm just trying to be positive back here, like Backseat Positivity. And then it's like, oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. You want to come have a chat? I don't know, something like that. That's kind of like my very mild amount of thought about it. Okay, I'm very excited for the next few because I think they're good. But why wouldn't I? Because I wrote them. I'm really enjoying this episode. And if you're enjoying it too, give it a follow, give it a review. I need all the help I can get. If you're watching on YouTube, give it a like. Maybe comment down below. Like, what are the ways that you bring positivity into your life? Do you find yourself like suffering with all of these things? Like, negative thoughts, and then you're like, oh, how did this happen? Why are you here? Why are you watching? You've made it 24 minutes in, so something must be going well. Okay. If you have a weird thought, I'd love to hear it. I really would. Like, that is an actual thing that I'd love to hear. Put like a little thought emoji in the comments and then write your weird thought, and I'll have a good time reading those. Maybe even they'll feature. If you're just listening on the podcast, go to YouTube and type a little, like I just said, do what I just said, if you want to. So, okay, next thing. Right, guys, I've been doing this almost every day. I nearly said every day, but that would be a lie. Almost every day for the past couple of months. Something which is basically journaling, but I call it morning pages because it's like the creative term, supposedly, to journaling, which is basically like journaling, but with a fancier name, morning pages. You do it in the morning, obviously. You're supposed to write 3 longhand. Now, that's not specified. I think they mean A4, but I've been doing A5. Sorry. I know I'm naughty. I've been doing A5. And you do 3 sides, not 3 pages, I don't think. And just write down everything that is going on in your mind. And this is what I've noticed is that at the start, there's a lot of negative stuff. And then your mind starts going, wait there. But actually, because in your head, it's like you're saying it out loud. You're putting it onto paper. It's becoming more concrete. It's not just like a fleeting thought, fleeting negative thought that you can just be like, oh, yeah, that was shit. Meh. Oh, that looks rubbish. Oh, that was boring. Like, you're actually writing it down, looking at it and going, wow, I can see that for its negativity. Then what ends up happening, I've noticed anyway, is you end up writing like a counter argument because your mind's like, oh no, that was really crap. Like, come on, Dawn, think a bit more positively. How can you see this nicely? So then your mind like turns it around and then you write down something that's like, I don't know, oh, I smell really bad today. But Dawn, you did like go for a 10-mile run, so that's really impressive. Oh, my skin is itchy. Oh, I don't know. Well, it's okay because you can just put that cream on and that cream is really good and it smells really nice too. So double whammy. Do you know what I mean? Just turning around the negative thing into a positive thing. You don't have to do it in the morning, but it does help. The point is that it's supposed to get all of the shit off your mind and then set you up for the day. Set you up for a creative day of fun. You can do it at night. Some people do it at night. Some people just like blur all of everything that's gone on to help them sleep better. I actually do like doing it in the morning. It's like a good way. Set yourself up and you go, yeah, I'm ready. There's a couple more things. Number one, well, I don't know what number it is now, but number one of the two things, look after yourself. I mean, I'm not going to go too much into that. It's kind of obvious. Sleep well, eat well. Eating well really does help. Oh my god, so does sleeping well actually. Don't drink too much caffeine. Alcohol makes you so negative and anxious. That's what I've found anyway. I get really like sad and depressed when I drink. Usually not when you drink, it's usually after, like when the hangover comes. So, I drink like max once a week, like max, I would say maybe once every 2 weeks. I've definitely started drinking more since I've been doing improv, not going to lie. But I only have like 1 pint. It's not like I'm going out on the lash. So controlling or moderating your alcohol and caffeine intake. And it also just makes you feel physically better, which makes you just inherently more positive. Okay. I've already said one of these, I feel. Just finding fulfillment and happiness in your life in general. So I'm not going to cover that one, but there is one more. This is my favourite one, I would say. Do something that is actually fun. That's actually fun and actually silly. Now, for me, I go watch comedy. Love watching comedy. There's actually a comedy and magic show together. It's combined. It's called Smoke and Mirrors. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. It's like top 2 on TripAdvisor. Improv. Inherently silly. You basically run around like a child for 2 hours. It's great. And nobody takes the piss out of you. You just have a laugh together. I think, wow, I just realised that I'd forgotten maybe one thing. Because when you're being silly, or doing fun things, or doing things that you enjoy, let's say you like painting, but you think, oh god, I'm really shit at painting, like, what's the point? It's just going to look rubbish, and then I'm not going to be happy with it. You need to sort that negative mind, go, no, and go, I'm going to see this in a different way. But sorry, Tom's typing is really distracting me. It's so loud. Embrace the failure. That is another thing that I've learnt from improv. Look, and I've started doing like artwork, not a lot, but I've started doing some, and that's important. and also I've started doing some acting stuff, just embracing the fact that you're not going to be great to start with, and that is okay. Because you want to do something fun, but there's always that voice telling you, no, you're not good enough for that. No, you'll look silly. Don't do that. You'll fail, and then you'll be humiliated. The only person that can stop that voice in your head is you, because that voice is you. Okay? That has been, to achieve something fun and silly, you need to overcome that hurdle. And that is how you achieve fun, silliness, and positivity. It doesn't have to be improv or comedy. It can be, what do you like doing that's fun? I like knitting, but I don't knit because I'm crap at it. Like, well, no, you're not. Just, you have to start somewhere. I like going on trampolines, but I'm not an Olympic trampolinist. Who the fuck cares? Go and have fun, go and do it, go and be silly. And just accept that, just bounce around like a little potato. Like, you don't have to be good at it. And that is something that's definitely helped with my happiness and positivity, is just letting go of trying to be perfect. Accepting failure. Yay! That's what we do in improv. When you fuck up, you go, yay! And everybody does it, and it's fine. It's funny. It's a good time. I honestly wish, I really wish that I could get more people to go to improv. Like, I think there needs to be some kind of way to change how people think of it, to make it seem less scary, because it really is intimidating the first time you go. I'm a very confident person, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so scared. But then I was literally I was in there for half an hour and I was fine, and the people are so nice. And if they're not, you need to go to a different improv class, because there's definitely nice ones out there. And also you're opening yourself up to silliness and being a child. You don't want people taking the piss out of you or being dicks. So find a different one. Anyway, guys, I've really enjoyed that episode. I hope you enjoyed it too. And it really fits in with the podcast, Maybe that should be my trailer episode. And I have just noticed over the past, like I said, few months, my mindset has changed. It'd be interesting, because I am going to have to go back into hospital. It'd be interesting to see how that happens what happens over the next few weeks with regards to that. So anyway, good night. Might not be night for you. Goodbye. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, if you did, give it a like. If you're not subscribed already or following the podcast on YouTube or podcasting streaming platform, whatever you're listening to on, please go ahead and click that button, review, comment, all of it. I would love to hear from you. I reply to all of my comments, and I just love to know who's listening, and I know you're there. It's just, it's nice to, not because I'm narcissistic, because it's nice to have a connection with somebody, isn't it? That is why. It's not I'm oh, I love people listening to my voice. No, I want to know who you are, because I know who some of you are. Hello. You know who you are. But it's just nice to connect with people, isn't it? Anyway, bye. Love you guys. Bye.